Hello, one and a how is everybody this evening? So far, we have with us Avery Butterworth, illustration 7.6, illustration studios 7.52, or something like that.
6-2. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm coming right back in.
Okay. Um, so there has been a change in plans tonight. Everybody out there listening, the person that's running the campaign for Eva, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. She lives somewhere over in jolly old England. She's about 6 hours away.
Okay.
So she got super tired about was getting really tired about 40 minutes ago. She messaged me and said sorry, but she had to go hit the hay and get some sleep. So unfortunately, what was that, Avery?
Who was this?
Annas Eskander,
Oh.
and she lives over in Europe. Well, I'm presuming that, or in England, based on the fact that she's like said it when she contacted me a little earlier that it was like 2:20 in the morning.
Mm,
So she was getting a little bit too tired, so she
gotcha.
bowed out of coming on. Unfortunately,
Oh, that sucks, man.
so yeah, and we got metal here.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
What up?
So unfortunately, we can't talk to her about her campaign, but we can go quickly over it and talk about it ourselves. With her out here to defend herself, but hopefully she will appreciate that. Go over it a bit. I've invited Popefire and Raggedy on to talk about their webtoon, Relentless.
You can
But
ask people to back the Lost pages and get
yeah,
the supplemental comic that has a short story of the people done by me.
yeah, I was thinking if maybe you can talk to your guys if I don't hear from. I have somebody I talked to for next week, next Wednesday, next Monday. Maybe some of your guys would want to come on and promote that next week. Is that or the week after?
I don't know if they're going to go in demand or not because it's ending in about 24
Yeah.
hours or so.
Well, you can see whether they're going in demand and if they
if they are.
Either next Monday or the Monday after, see whether they want to come on.
Sure, they know the whole pitch.
Yeah, there was a lot of them on there, so I wasn't sure like who the heck do we contact. I know you were on it a little bit, so it is what it is. Of course, it figures the first time I set up, like the thumbnail nice and good ahead of time, and things got to get changed on me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether you've seen the thumbnail for this one or not.
No, dude, I just left the lobby from Andrew's stream.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to pop in, hang out with you for a minute.
Yeah, here, let's see what I can get. Except for the fact that it was her book, and it said her name here. Here, I'm going to show you what it would have somewhat looked like. Where's there? So that was, it would have been her name there, and the cover of her book right there. So,
all I see is a Florida man.
Yeah, well, you see the Florida man, but I got Cross Comics After Dark here, talking with. Can you not see that part?
I see your Photoshop screen. It's kind of grainy, but yeah, see the Todd Mulroney, Florida man. Hey, what's up, Evan?
So, unfortunately, yeah, that hers looked very similar to that. Would have been her book in the place where it says Florida Man, her book cover, and where it says Tom Rooney would have been her name in place. I just thought, that's that's the basic premise for the top Cross Comics After Dark.
Gotcha. Oh, there we go. It started clearing up a little bit. All right.
So, but how are you tonight, Metal, as well?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
And how's everybody? That's good. And Evan's asking, is that Avery? Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not too bad, except Indiegogo has, or the contact person at the moment has decided to ignore me because I asked her the phone number very harshly.
That will do it.
And so I can take that number, go down to my bank, and contact them, and so we can get this issue resolved. Although I'm in contact with somebody at my bank, and they seem about as bright as a burnt-out light bulb. And they're supposed to be an assistant manager.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds about my luck, right?
Somewhere, there's a piece of information that's not there.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to ask this person from the bank. I'm giving her what Indiegogo is trying to put it through with, and she's saying, and I'm saying, what is this? Does there need to be more information to go with this to put it through? Oh, we don't have enough information to tell you.
I would print everything and go down there.
Now, unfortunately, my printer's not working at the moment. Eagle's here, and he says he's watching. Hello, Eagle. So, it's like, oh, God. How can people be so dumb?
There's some kind of piece of information somewhere, a zero in the wrong spot or something that's causing.
Well, I am thinking of putting it on a thumb drive and going down to the bank, or like a flash drive, putting it down. And it's almost like she's not even reading. I'm sending this PDF to her. It's not almost like she's not even reading it at times and opening it up and reading it.
Probably not.
It's oh yeah, and I can see that because I noticed something it said with stuff with hers. If there looks to be something suspicious, don't open it. Yeah, just because I'm just sending it, it's got to be suspicious, right?
Well, you could. There are ways to embed it in the email, so it's just there for them to read. It's not.
Yeah, I copied and pasted like one of the times that they did as an example, and still it was like, duh, did you actually write something intelligent? No, I didn't. You just I did, but you just ignored it.
Horrible.
And last time I wrote, it's a simple yes or no question. Is this enough information to get the money in the bank? The person's talking about opening a bank account there with US dollars. It's like, I don't need to open another bank account. Somebody else has already done this before. Not through the exact same measures,
I wonder if that's it.
Like George Gattis, before they made the new system, he had US dollar money put in his Canadian account thing. So US money, US dollars can be
Have
put
you considered
in
the fact that maybe it is hard to translate US dollars to Monopoly money?
Bullets here, it says pizza information. No, not yet. get Rebels here in the chat and says, "Did you get your thing? Money? No, not yet." Well, we're just sort of talking about that. Rebel says, "Blue Muppet." Art of Reed is here and says, "Hey, hey, hey," as well. So I'm just. It's just my days dealing with Indiegogo ignoring me, and then people that are brain dead at the bank.
Oh yeah, Rebels also prove that they know how to work with Monopoly money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rebel says it's not hard. They did it for me in like a week. You're right. It shouldn't be hard, but apparently somehow it's hard for me. That's just my life. It's not hard. It's not my life.
Rick.
I live the. I swear, I live the Peter Parker life, as I call it. As basically, I can do anything, good, bad, or in between, for the right motive, or good, bad, or in between, and especially if it's for the good, and somehow it'll just come back to bite me in the ass.
I actually know exactly how that is. It's like one of those Murphy's Law things.
Yes, that is true. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong.
Finier Fires here says up, not much. Unfortunately, we're not gonna. Well, I'm gonna go over their thing, but the person's thing that we were supposed to be talking about, Indiegogo, was unable to make it because of where they live. They're in, like, I believe, England, and it's like 3 a.m. there, so they wanted to go to bed. Guess they didn't realize how hard it'd be to stay up at 3 a.m. and then another 2 hours beyond that when they agreed. Evan says, "We can spread the word for the next 2 hours, fixing the aspect ratio of your camera." Bullet says, "It's not hard. You can get pills for that."
They make a pill for that. Degeneracy.
But,
all right, man.
I'm thinking if by this Friday it hasn't got Oh, hey Anna, you're up? Okay. Here, let me send you a link.
All right, cool. All right.
Yeah, she's like, "Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play."
All right. I'm going to take off, Rick. I just wanted to say, hey.
Okay. Yeah.
For a minute, man. I'll catch you later. I'll be back on. I'm going to go make something to eat and pass out myself later, bro.
Okay.
Good seeing you again, Metal.
Yeah. Catch you later.
Okay, there, Anna's, if you go to your Indiegogo, not your Indiegogo, your Twitter, I just DM'd you the link to come on. I'll just wait for her to come by and.
You just need to start playing the Jeopardy theme.
Yeah. Let's see what's Evan saying here. Fix your aspect ratio before you send the link. Well, I think my aspect ratio is good. When you say Evan, Don't you know this level of quality we expect from Rick? Mallet will get mad if we fix it too much.
Yeah, you
What's
remember
wrong with
last
my
time?
aspect ratio?
Oh no. Unless your camera is for some reason cut to 3/4 and it's like stretched out wide to fit the thing.
Because it looks all right to me, you know. Then again, I'm not seeing it on YouTube, so. She's probably setting up StreamYards. That's her. Might be her first time doing it. So
Yeah, but you remember, was it last time or the time before that? Matt was in here complaining about me trying to make your stream better.
yeah. Or turn your camera sideways. You will see a major difference. Okay, I'll turn it sideways. There. I see a major difference. I'm sideways.
Yeah. No, I see what it is. Your camera is being cropped to 3/4, and it's just stretching you out because you thinned out a lot when you turned it sideways.
Okay, well, I don't know what to do about that. I'd probably have to turn off my computer and everything. And
well, you probably wouldn't have to turn off your computer. There's probably an option in your camera settings, but I don't know where you keep
find
those,
those
so
half
it
the
would take
time.
too long.
I'm just gonna go check. Oh, can you send it to? Okay, yeah, I should be able to. Okay, she wants me to send it to her Gmail account. Email. It says, why is it not? Okay.
Yeah, I think the crowd is getting frustrated with your camera to the point that Evan's even like, "Let's just get you a new camera."
Okay, why is this? You would think I'm supposed to be able to open link in new tab. Okay, why did I send this? Well, from my end, I can't see the technical difficulties, so. I'm trying, Annas, I'm trying to. All you should be able to click that link that I sent in your email or your DM. Just click it. Oh, this one wants to go through Outlook Express and all that sort of stuff. Or I just want to send the link. I don't want to send it through my email. I just want to send it to their email. Okay, here, give me a sec. I'll go into my email. Okay. Control C. Oops. Compose. StreamYard. Copy. Right now, we just have the metal on Timothy.
But he's trying to get on a creator to talk about her book, correct?
Yeah. So, let's see. Hopefully, once I go in onto that. Okay, so I've sent you an email, Annas, to thing. Let's see whether I go over to. There. Now, how does that look when I put that on for everybody? Can everybody see that properly?
Oh yeah, the shared screen is fine. That's in like native resolution.
Well, then I'll just stick with that or whatever for now. He asked what's up, metal.
Everything. Technically.
No. Hi, Annas. How are you?
First,
Well, I'm gonna put my headphones on. What was that? Hopefully you are good. Can you hear us?
yes, I can hear. First of all, my sincerest apologies for being fashionably late.
Oh, no problem.
I had some
I didn't
technical issues as well as
Yeah, I get it. Well, you're all the way over in England, I presume, from the accent.
yes.
So I send out these invites. And, hey, sometimes I realize where people are. Sometimes I don't. So I know sometimes it can be hard. All these different time zones. So how are you today?
I'm actually
Or this
getting
one?
some feedback.
Okay. Timothy in the chat says hi. We got John. I'm not sure whether you know who John Dillard is. He's on. Hey, John.
What's going on, Rick? How you doing?
Not much. We are going over Annas Eskander. Sorry for butchering your last name. Over her Indiegogo.
Cool.
Doing a talking with. So I've got it up there on the screen for everybody to see.
I didn't know that you were doing an expose on a creator right now. I shouldn't have bothered you. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's no problem. Well, I'm trying to restart bringing this back up on Mondays. As you know, I did it a year or so ago for 2 or 3 months, and then what was it? The beginning of 2019, I was trying to do it, but nobody was responding to come on. So then I just gave up.
All right, well, what is the? I want to look it up. What is the name of the campaign?
You want to pronounce it, Annas?
Oh, hi. Sorry. Do you know what it was? I was hearing the YouTube show as well as you guys.
Oh, you
so
forgot
there
to
was
mute it.
I've been going mad. Oh my God, what a night. Sorry.
No, no problem.
I'm
no
a bit
problem.
delirious now. I was like, what?
No problem. I
Hearing
think we've all
myself.
done that when we first started doing this. So
Oh God, I thought I was going insane. Anyway, hi. I'm now back to Planet Sanity. And yeah, it's Annas Eskander. And the comic is called EYVA. And yeah, it's been a work in progress for the past 5 years. And we finally managed to get it onto Indiegogo and try to have it funded. So we could get it published and start work on issue 2. The illustrator is Timothy Green II, who has worked on Eon Flux, Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon. He's worked for Marvel and DC, so he's pretty well known in the industry. And I've had both the honor and the pleasure of being able to collaborate with him on this project. So yeah, you're welcome to play the video and I can sort of talk more about it.
okay. Metal, how about you? Can you play the video? You seem to be able to play it and get it to have volume.
Oh, so when I had to reformat my computer to get the Wi-Fi working, it undid all of my mic injection stuff, and I still haven't got that fixed yet.
Yeah.
Is this correct? This is $5 for the printed copy?
Yeah, but you have to pay P&P on top. So
what the hell's PMP? What is
it? Packing and postage.
Oh, you mean shipping and handling?
Shipping and handling.
That's it. Sorry.
How much
different terms across the pond?
You know what that would be for the US offhand?
So worldwide, I'm just trying to think. It depends because as the pack gets heavier, so it could be about £4 or £5, something like that. UK pounds.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
So probably about 10. Probably about $10.
You're about doubling the price, yeah.
Rick, what is this? What the hell, dude?
What do you mean?
Like, you normally have people on that have trash books. This book looks good.
Well, thank you for the compliment, I think.
How long is the book itself?
Well,
let's see, 28 pages of story?
So I'm just seeing the Indiegogo page, is that right?
Yeah, I've got that up so everybody can see it in a moment.
Yeah. All right. So basically, I'll talk through it. So my idea behind the comic was sort of thinking about 1984 and sort of the stylization of Blade Runner, and I didn't want to do another depressing dystopian world, and life's already depressing, so I just thought about, we've got the likes of social media and Facebook, and we're getting so watched, and I just thought, well, imagine Facebook gets so big that they actually become like the authority, the governing body, and become all powerful, and your timeline, basically, it's not up to you what you put on your timeline. It automatically, everything you do just automatically goes on there. So you have absolutely no privacy whatsoever. And so you have like 3 factions, one where they've got biome plants and they're kind of, technologically savvy. There's the opposite group where they just don't want to be associated with all the technology because they just believe that's what's caused the demise of humanity, and they want to be sort of more, sort of in tune with nature and back to basics scenario, and let's live in tree houses. And then finally, there's a third group where they're just the complete opposites. They're they want to live forever, and if it means almost becoming half cyborg, for that immortality, then so be it. So Ava comes in, and she's like a bioengineer, and she's trying to develop a cure for sort of a brainstem disease, which just degenerates. And inadvertently, she creates a very powerful bioweapon that kind of, sort of becomes a deciding factor for the survival of each group. And yeah, so hopefully that's enticing enough for people to want to read it.
Well, I will. I'm just going to read the first paragraph here. I usually do this. So, Ava, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Ava. I initially
Ava.
she was called Ava, and then I went on to call her Iva, and then I didn't like it. So in the video, I say Iva, but then we've changed it now back to Ava. So apologies for the confusion. I mean, it was always a work in progress.
Ava does sound a lot better
problem.
than Iva.
It does. I think it was, I respond, a lot of people, they write to me and I respond to feedback. And the feedback was that they weren't liking sort of the Iva version. Ava sounds so much better, even though the spelling's going to be a little bit ambiguous. But hey, so what?
Yeah, who cares?
Ava,
You got to give the
Who
people what they
cares?
want.
It's artistic license with the spelling.
Okay, so just so you know, I am backer 225.
Oh, thank you so much. Once again, I do apologize for my late arrival and my narcolepsy.
No problem at all.
It's not the first show I've done at night, and no matter how much coffee you can consume, that no amount of it's not gonna. The system gets used to the caffeine.
Well, like I said before, I seen you in the chat. It's easily forgivable. It's like 3:00 in the morning there, and then that's just the starting. I usually go about 2 hours, so that could be like 5:00 in the morning. You're up too, so that can get crazy. I can see. So,
Yeah. The nightmare was because like with StreamYard, I can't open it in Safari. I actually had to download Chrome to use StreamYard, and the problem was I forgot my Twitter passwords, so I'm just having like technological meltdown.
Oh, I know.
And then I can see you, and then I can see you having a technological meltdown. And I was like, oh god, it's one of those nights, isn't it?
Yeah. I know my computer's pretty good, so I was able to wheel through it pretty fast.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read the first couple paragraphs here for people that have yet to hear. Ava is a cyberpunk comic series based on the love of the 80s sci-fi and fantasy fiction. The story is based in the Ardent Nation, a stylized technological utopia in the 23rd century. However, all is not as it seems. Individuality and privacy are rare commodities that the only governing elite are privileged to. Imagine, if you will, social media becoming the governing body of a surviving nation. Everything about you, what you do, and what you say from the day you were born is automatically streamed on your timeline, and then is monitored by the authoritarian.
You're getting your tongue twister, isn't it?
Authoritarian regime known as Mainframe. That
so
definitely
hence,
sounds
Mainframe is watching you. I think, I mean, it was inspired from 1984 and, Big Brother watching you. And, as much as I love the concept, I really, found 1984 just horrendously depressing. So I just thought, you know what, it is a sort of where we're headed, but let's do it in a more positive, fun way. I think it was because I absolutely love Blade Runner and Back to the Future, where things were a bit more like, I'm looking forward, to things looking like that. So that image there that you've got, sort of where she's hanging upside down, she's basically in a burlesque club, and she's got a corrupt senator there, and he basically has something she wants, and he, unbeknownst to him, he thinks she's just a typical dancer, strategically bejeweled, and sort of little does he know, he's just got more than he bargained for. And I think the reason I did it was, it was not paying homage to to all the male writers out there who love doing their stripper scene. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a stripper scene as well, but for me, sort of turn it on put a little twist on it, turn it on its head, because I'm kind of sort of where the female character becomes more than just an object. So it has caused controversy when I've been trying to do sort of ads on Facebook. Because she's scantily clad, it's basically, sorry, there's too much skin. I was like, what are you talking about?
Hey, you guys, I gotta get out of here. I'm having a headache. I'm about to fall over, but the book looks fantastic, and I wish you luck. And
thank you
I'll
very
see you guys
much.
later.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
See you, John.
Thanks for stopping by, John. So I guess Timothy's thing of can we have Dillard read it is a no. He does ask The Matrix. Is it something? I guess he's saying, is it something like The Matrix?
Well, with The Matrix is you're entering you're entering sort of a virtual world, and whereas this is set, it is reality, and it's sort of I guess in a way with The Matrix you are sort of watched, with all the algorithms, and it kind of there is that sense of being watched as well.
I'm getting more of a Ghost in the Shell vibe from this than Matrix.
But
that's also a comic that is in the same vein as like Blade Runner and stuff like that. So
yeah, there was definitely some inspiration from like Blade Runner. I think sort of as a fashion designer, if you ask most fashion designers, especially when they're young and impressionable, they'll say Blade Runner, the sort of the first one was their biggest influence, because I think they referenced the 1940s suit for, especially for women, which is a timeless style, and it's not dated. The film, the siren, kind of like even Darhana with her like punk look. It again, you watch it now and you don't feel like this film is well over. I mean, what are we talking? Was it 1980? I'm just trying to think. What year was it? 1982, was it?
For Blade Runner, you mean? Or?
Yeah, Blade Runner, the first one.
Yeah, it was 82.
It was 82.
Yeah, that summer.
Yeah, so that's 38 years, right? And you don't feel it. So yeah, for fashion designers, they absolutely love that. Again, like Gattaca referenced the 1940s as well. I love the stylization of that, and also the story behind it. That you can be, you can be the underdog, but you don't need to be. Don't let sort of the parameters that you've been set in hold you back from doing the very thing you want to do. Sort of going up against, you weak, or like you're not a designer baby and your brother is, and you know you're built up to be this inferior love child. So there's some great stories as well. I mean,
Is the main character cybernetic?
No, she just has, like, everyone wears a bio implant, but there is a character where she is a cyborg prototype, and she has a very strong fascination with wanting to be everything human, and she becomes fixated with Ava to a point where, you know, she wants to experience all aspects of humanity. You know, I won't go into more detail, cool. You know, but
I'm guessing like cybernetic implants are probably common among the society that actually embraces the technocracy.
Yeah.
So 28-page story. That's cool. So is this going to be ongoing? Like, is there?
Yeah. So now that we've hit target, we are going to go in demand because we need to continue to generate funds. Because I'm still in the red. Because what it is, because I've spent a lot of years writing it, and you know, I actually, so Timothy, he is the illustrator, and the way it works is I'm paying him on a freelance basis to do the illustration. You know, sometimes I wish, you know, I was as talented as he is, and you know, that would have been a lot less costly, but that's the way it goes. You know, I'll stick to my strength of being a writer. And I did the creative direction as well, provided the mood boards. So if you go on Instagram, I've shared some of the mood boards that we worked from. So when we started out, it was basically, you know, like we looked at the characters, each character, what did I have, sort of what idea, you know, I had for them, and I'd find, you know, characters, sort of actors, actresses, or maybe just, you know, sort of random people, and we'd kind of do a hybrid of them so they wouldn't look so much like the, you know, sort of actual person. Actually, one character, a young child, she basically looks like my daughter. So, and my daughter's loving the idea that, you know, sort of potentially she will be featured in a comic. And then we looked at gadgets, we looked at locations, and kind of made distinctions. So, you know, if you've got the Ardent Imperium, it's very sort of it's a city skyscape, you know, like loads of tall buildings, and kind of the color tones are more adhering to blues. Then you've got the reformist district, where they are, you know, it's nature basically, so it's all sort of tones of green. And then you've got Dreris, which is kind of inspired a bit from like Mad Max, you know, where it's really barren, but they do have these phenomenal sort of buildings. We really went to town with the architectural inspiration. And again, if on Indiegogo, I've got sort of ideas from a very famous architect called Zaha Hadid, and she's got currently her last building that she ever designed before she passed away is being built, which is the 1000 Museum in Miami. And she played a major sort of part in sort of providing the inspiration for this futuristic world. If you see her work, it's just absolutely amazing. It's just phenomenal, breathtaking. And you know it's her work because it just stands out. And luckily, you know, there's a company, she's got her architectural company and a whole league of architects that are carrying on her work and her design philosophy.
And I see here, once you hit 10,000 pounds, you're going to start doing number 2. Is that like?
Yeah.
I guess will that make number 2 paid for? or
It will still,
like to at least by paid for, I just mean drawn up, not printed necessarily.
I mean, yeah, I think sort of with that, it will definitely give the go ahead to get everything done, and then we'll basically get it launched to sort of get further funds to get it published. We're kind of doing it in baby steps because I think I was working it out, and it is very expensive to rely on a illustrator to do the work. And fair be it to them, at the end of the day, that's their skill, and it's their livelihood.
For sure. Let's see what some of your perks are here.
Yes, so
everybody.
basically you've got the printed copies, and you can get like a digital PDF of it to accompany it, and then also
so and the digital PDF is £2 or $3 US.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is good price for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I did my research. I looked at other campaigns to make sure that I was aligned with them. Again, the problem is that you have the exchange rates, and sometimes that affects it. So it could be, I could be in line on my end, and then it just throws everything off, sort of everywhere else.
And for £4, £4, I should say £4, $5 US, you can get a printed copy. Is that going to be signed by you or not?
Yes,
I doubt it can be signed by the illustrator.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did think about that because I'm happy to sign all of these comics, but because Timothy's in the US, so logistically, it's not feasible. However, I have said to people that at some point we're thinking of, potentially being at Comic-Con and, sort of being available to get those copies signed for you.
Well, that's good. That's a good price for, printed and signed, $5 US plus shipping, which you think it might be about $10 US, right?
Yeah.
And let's see, the £5 or £5 for
it's just getting so confusing.
Well, I just see the big number first, and the big number's in pounds here, as you can see, and so that just throws me off for a second. So £5 for the printed and the digital, which is a good price for sure as well. So, definitely good. And you've got a variant here for £9, which or $12 US, which is good. It's always good having those. Oh, and you get the digital as well here, so that's cool.
I mean, I'm trying to do my best to sort of offer some really generous bundles, because at the end of the day, I just want to show my gratitude towards everyone who, sort of is taking the time and sort of, kind of contributing their hard-earned cash, and like just sort of really looking out for the fans, really.
Yeah, these are all good deals. Let's see. Up next is for £12. For £12 or 15, I think that is American. The original and the variant.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what I did was, in terms of the variant. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, like, what I do on Instagram is I'll have like 2 different options, and then I'll get people to sort of vote which version they like better. So I've tried to be interactive with the fans, just to sort of get their feedback, and that way they can feel that they've got a say in some of the decisions that are being made.
Yeah, I understand for sure. And then also with this, you get two digital versions of it. I guess one for each cover. One for the original, one for the variant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. And then up next is 15. So you get 5 postcards, 15 pounds and 19 US. Digital and a printed copy. These are, like I said, that everybody. This is good if you've got the money. This looks like a great thing to grab. As you know, John already did it. Who's on here?
You have a backer 227 here.
Oh, hello.
I could only get the digital, but it does look like a pretty good.
I'm loving the deep and husky voice.
A retailer bundle for that's a good price for retailers. 16 pounds for 5 copies for 21.
Yeah, that was done. So somebody, a couple of people contacted me and said, do you have a retailer's bundle? And I was like, well, I didn't think about that. Would you like one? They were like, yes, please. So I added it on, and so it's 5 for the price of 4. And they just have to pay shipping once.
Yeah, which is real good. Okay, EYVA behind the scenes bundle. This hopefully should be interesting. 20 pounds or 26. Okay, you got the postcards. The postcards, the digital, the printed. And behind the scenes PDF. So what is shown in the behind the scenes PDF?
Yeah, so basically it's kind of like a notebook. It's kind of a sketchbook that went on behind the actual comic. So you'll get sort of sketches, notes on what was the thinking behind the development, sort of the evolution of EYVA's character, and you'll also get the actual script that I wrote, which was originally for like a TV pilot. So it's all the things. There are like little tasters on the Instagram page of some of the sketches that Timothy did. And yeah, it's kind of like a little treat especially for people who are doing their own comics, just to see the kind of the work, the behind the scenes sort of,
Yeah, the process that goes on into making stuff.
The thought that went behind it, the making of it, It's a bit like a documentary and sort of like, the trials and tribulations that went on behind the scenes.
About how many pages would it be equivalent to, or do you know?
I'm still in the process of working on it, and I mean, it could be about. I mean, don't hold me to it, but it could be about 15 to 20 pages, something like that.
Okay, well, that's cool for sure.
And I did. I mean, I did think about printing it, but it just means that the costs go up, and I just thought, well, that's something that could just be people happily just have as a PDF.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you could always add it on to another tier, print it, and you charge, a little bit extra because it's getting printed, and you charge a little bit more for that than you do the comic because there's less of it getting printed.
Yeah.
And,
no, that's something I'd definitely consider, actually. If people do actually want a physical copy of the behind the scenes, then, sort of it'll be in another tier. There are, I mean, now that we're coming, so this is coming to the end of it. So what I'm going to do is probably just sit down and refresh the campaign for the in-demand version, and kind of, because there's some things like, for instance, if you go down, there's some things that, like the phone case, we didn't have a tier that was for like the £50, and I didn't want to go crazy with the merchandise. So I offered the phone case, which you can have made to order. That's not, to be honest with you, I've only had 3 people who are interested in that. That one of them is me, and I've got a friend who it's going to be a nice little birthday present. But
unfortunately, they haven't been claimed yet on either the
no, but that's fine. I think what we'll do is we'll look into offering something else, and I'll probably maybe sort of kind of like maybe ask people, could do a survey and say, what would you like? Sort of, because I've seen people do like T-shirts, and actually, I've got somebody who wants me to do a T-shirt of Ava in her strategically bejeweled costume. But like in a sense where if you're wearing it, it looks like you're the one wearing the outfit.
Yeah, I get it. Sort of like the Iron Man or Spider-Man ones.
Yeah, exactly. Gives you the virtual 6-packs. But I'm gonna have a think about that one.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, it's because, especially for me, this is my first time. It's just been a massive learning curve, and the best thing about it is that not only have I learned so much, especially about the comic industry, sort of the fans, the indie world especially, because there is a whole sort of network of people, and they're very extremely supportive and wonderful people. Really, it's so nice to be surrounded by other creatives, and just the vibes that you get off them, the positive vibes, just really just kind of push you on. And if there's something that you're not sure about, they're always there to come and support you. And through this, I've even supported other campaigns as well. And it's a really lovely community, and that's something that's I totally unexpected.
Let's see. You got your drawstring bag, which looks pretty neat too.
Originally, I wanted it in the natural with the black print, but it didn't go down so well with the boys. They like a black bag, so I had to. I thought, what, black is going to be a bit more unisex. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's even a good price. It's £25 or $32, and you get your 5 postcards, your digital version, your printed version, the PDF. Definitely a good deal for everything that you're getting there.
And I think
plus if it's black, you don't have to worry about it clashing with anything.
Oh, absolutely. It's like Coco Chanel says, sort of black and sort of in a black little dress.
I was just going to say, if anybody has any questions at any time, please feel free to put them in the chat, and I will ask away. Go ahead.
I was going to say, when you do these bundles, I think there is an add-on whereby you can sort of add on the variant cover as well. So because instead of doing a whole other tier, I've just done add-ons to make things easier.
Yeah, that's what I started doing. Just put it as an add-on if they want it. Here's the add-on. It's easier.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
500 tiers.
Oh god, yeah. It really, really sort of drives me nuts when there's so many tiers, and it's like, okay, I've lost the will to live here. It's too much choice. It's like I'm indecisive on a good day.
And of course, you got the 2 different phone cases, one for an iPhone or one for a Samsung.
Yes, and then last one. The last one is basically, I've got about 24 pages of sketches, the inked drawings. Some of it will come as one page, another one will sort of, maybe it'll be a page, but then there'll be accompanying sort of sketches ink sketches because we had to change a few things later on. So you get like a whole page sort of sent out to you, and that's in addition to all the other treats.
Yeah, and these are pages right from the book itself?
Absolutely, yes. These are the original inked pages from the comic.
And that's a good price, especially getting everything else with it.
Yeah.
You know, for 100 pounds or 129.
Yeah.
US plus, you know, whatever shipping is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a really good deal because you're not only getting sort of the original inked work from Timothy Green II, and it does have his initials on it, so he has technically signed them. You do also get the postcards, the all the other bits, the behind the scenes, the drawstring bag. You know, you're properly kitted out there. And that's a bargain because normally original inked drawings, especially, I mean, these things are huge. And
normally you're paying 100, 125 just for the ink pages from a comic book.
Absolutely, because I'm sat here questioning, thinking, why'd I go so cheap?
Yeah,
I feel
with such a renowned artist.
Yeah, I mean, get it before I change my mind.
Well, unfortunately, now the tour people have.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a bit stuck now.
Well, then again, you can always hide this part, recreate it, and put it at more expensive.
Yeah, now your listeners are gonna so hate you.
But yeah, you could probably easily get, I don't know, 125, 150 pounds for this, you know, one, especially with everything in there, you know.
I would sell any page of my comics for like $50 flat.
Yeah.
But that's because I am cheap and I am desperate.
Considering that's pretty much what I've done. You're saying I'm cheap and I'm desperate.
No, he's saying he's more cheap and desperate since he's charging around.
It's fine. Yeah. So I noticed it says here a tad bit of that comic Tank Girl. Yeah, absolutely. You know, because I was living in London and I went for a trip to Forbidden Planet, and that's like, you know, the shop to go to. And you walk in and you've got all the merchandise and the memorabilia upstairs. You go downstairs and it's like a haven of endless comics. And I was just absolutely gobsmacked by how many sort of adults were there, you know, sort of really just looking through all the comics. And I was just like, yeah, there is a market here, you know, because I just thought, I didn't think people still read comics. I mean, I have mine, you know, I've got my Saga and my Tokyo Ghost and my Influx and the Crow and sort of the usual suspects. And then I was looking around and I was trying to find, you know, what kind of prominent, I was looking for prominent female heroines that stuck out. And Tank Girl was definitely one of them. And the other one was Wonder Woman. And I love Tank Girl. I mean, she's just got a whole lot of attitude. You know, she's badass, and I think that's what I like. If you know, sort of female characters that go against the grain, you know, then they've got their own mind and they've got their own sort of natural moral compass, which kind of could be a bit controversial now and again. But, you know, somehow they, you know, sort of seem to want to do the right thing in the end.
Oh, Rebel Gaming says, I'm cheap, desperate, and single.
Oh, dear. Same. Oh, look, bless. I think maybe you should start a dating site. There seems to be a demand here.
Oh, they never work.
Yeah, no, you could have like a dating app that's purely for comic book lovers.
Yeah. Well, some questions I ask. So now that we've gone over your campaign, what got you into comic books, or superheroes, or whatever?
So
Which
my background is in fashion, and I went to art school and I did my degree afterwards. But I always on the side I always loved writing, and when I wrote, I've always been a big fan of sci-fi, especially if it's stylized. And when I wrote the screenplay, my mentor, who is a graphics novel lover, said to me, this really lends itself well to becoming a comic. And have you thought about it? Because it's just so the way I wrote it was just so visual. He just thought, why don't you do it? And I thought, okay. Especially considering I'm a big Aeon Flux fan. I absolutely loved the world that she was in. It was just surreal, and it really made you think. And not everything made sense, but you didn't care, because it really kind of got you. It was very escapist. So then I just thought, yeah, actually, this could be a really good thing. I think at the time, because I was going to the London Screenwriters Festival, and there they try to encourage people not only to write scripts, but also to produce short films. But the thing with when you write a sci-fi, it's pretty expensive to create a short film with all these technological advancements and bioimplants and things like that. And so what better way than to do a comic, because you've got no boundaries, you've got no restrictions. You can take your imagination and put it on paper and run wild with it, and you're not restricted with the whole budget thing.
For sure. Yeah, it's so much easier doing, comic books or animation, because you're not restricted. If you can draw it, you can make it appear. Yeah.
Every scene
Absolutely.
can be a set piece.
Yeah, you've got full creative control. Whereas, if you're doing a short film, I mean, you can do a drama, sort of, because you're on a low budget. Can you really do a sci-fi unless you've got like CGI? You CGI everything. So yeah.
So who's your favorite, I guess, hero for comic books?
Oh, I've always been a fan of Batman. I think sort of when I was a teenager, I was a bit of a tomboy, and I used to skateboard. It was around the time sort of Michael Keaton, when the first Batman came out, and I'd be going around with, sort of the illustrated version of Batman. And yeah, I like the duality of him, and that even he doesn't have superpowers, but he's got a lot of money and he makes really cool gadgets. So that really appealed to me. And the whole question of who would win between Batman and Superman. I mean, come on, really? He's the underdog.
Yeah. I guess another question that I ask a lot of times: who's your favorite villain?
Oh, the Joker. Absolutely, the Joker. He's just so unhinged. He is. He's just, yeah. And sometimes I actually root for him. I mean, do actually, the Joker is like, it's like, when you have a really bad day and you just want to go a bit nuts, and with him, he's just liberated. You know, it's all the craziness that you've had to endure that day. It's just you know, liberate it all, and you just vent it all out, and he does it with style. And I love his one-liners.
Oh, and a lot of
and
people were rooting for him when he killed Jason Todd.
Rebel said a while ago, that's what I need. Comic book groupies. So anybody out there in the chat have any questions for Anna or Metal? Any questions you can think of?
Well, and I mentioned this story earlier, but I was going to wonder, have you actually ever read Ghost in the Shell?
No, I haven't.
See, I think that's one you would really like based on what you're describing about the type of female leads you like. And also the Blade Runner influences, and especially with Motoko Kusanagi, she's got a lot of like different fashion designs in her outfit. You would probably really enjoy that story if you haven't read it.
No, do you know, it's coming back to me now, and they did the film version, right, with Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, it didn't really do it too much justice.
Yeah, okay. No, I will read it. Thank you. I am right in that, or am I confusing?
Yeah, it was Scarlett. And
it was Scarlett.
Movie,
okay, yeah.
If you'd rather watch something than read it, there's a full-length anime called Standalone Complex.
Yeah.
Which is like a proper adaptation of everything.
All right. Yeah. No. Definitely. Thank you.
That's my poor problem. I never know what to say or ask. You're hoping the chat comes and wants to ask questions and all that.
That's called an awkward silence.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
And Rick knows I'll just let the awkward silence egg on because I live on stuff like this.
It's like playing chicken.
Yeah. Get off on it almost.
He'll start talking the first. It's basically 4:12 now, so you know that's why I'm managing. I think sort of what happened was I went into full-blown deep sleep. Right, I was like right 2:15. I was, oh my god, I'm so struggling. I don't know how I'm gonna wake up again. And then somehow I just got my second burst of energy. And then I could see you guys. And the thing is, I went to the YouTube show, and then I saw like all the prep work. You know, there it is, me. I'm gonna be on the show, and I'm like, no, I didn't think it was just all about me. I thought I was some kind of participant on the side, you know, and I felt awful. I was just like, yeah, and you guys. I think something was said about me needing to. There are pills for this. I heard that.
No. That was an erection.
That was good.
I was just like, yeah, okay, fine. I'm in the doghouse here.
Yeah, no, he was saying if it's not hard, they make pills for that. He was throwing a little innuendo in there.
All right. Oh,
yeah, right. That was all meant for me. Yeah, I'm having a hell of a problem getting my money off of Indiegogo. I'm in Canada, so I've been having a hell of a problem the last couple months because my banking and all that. So
what's the issue? Because I always think, is Indiegogo going to actually, live up to, live up to their end of the bargain?
Lots of people have gotten their money, fine. Lots of people in Canada have got some money. I'm not denying that, but the people behind the scenes that you deal with for the contact are so brain dead, inadequate, to help you when it becomes any harder than referring to something off their facts page.
Yeah.
The frequently asked page. But, for some reason, the money, they've been trying to put the money in and it's been failing for like the past 4 months.
Yeah.
And I'm on my third bank account right now, and it's still, yet they don't want to admit it's on their end. They want to say it's on my bank's end. Yet I've given them all the right information.
Yeah.
Yet they changed the way that they deliver it in the last, like in December. So this is probably again what's throwing everything out the out the window for me. And maybe I'm just, a unique case for some reason because,
Well, I'll keep you posted if I have any issues. When do they normally, when do they normally pass on the funds? Is it like, sort of a few days after?
They try about 2 weeks later, they start the process of putting it in your account. So they'll send you an email say they're starting the process. And then it takes about a week to get it in. They say 3 to 5 business days. So, about another week to get it in your account,
All right.
So, I have my YouTube show on a regular basis. So one way I like to keep my people that have backed me up to date is I tell them what's going on. And since you weren't on right away, and I wasn't expecting you on because, I just figured I'd update them. So everything they were saying about that before you said anything in the chat was to me.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be. I try to update every time I don't want to kind of bombard people with too many emails because I feel like, there's only because nowadays it's like there's so many sort of subscriptions and your inbox gets full so quickly and you just like it's just too much. I can't deal with it all. So I try to keep my updates only until there's like something worth saying, and especially like something
major, in the campaign.
Yeah, exactly, something major, like so just recently
the fact that you got one page done isn't major. The fact that you got all the pages done is major.
Yes. Or like, for instance, with the lettering, I originally did the lettering and the problem was it wasn't up to scratch. The illustrations are so beautiful. And then, I come along and an amateur try my hand at lettering and there's a whole art to it. And the thing is, I don't have the experience that Timothy has. And I had a chat with him just earlier. And I said to him, you know what, because I did I did the first page. I said, I've amended it and have a look at it, see what you think. I must have gotten a million notes on that. And I was like, you know what, you do it.
Rebel Gaming actually does have a question for you. He wants to know what your Twitter is because he wants to have you on the Rebel Comics channel and to let you know that he's friends with Mary Grant.
Yeah. Yes, he is. All right, brilliant.
I was going to say, have to answer that. Her Twitter is in a link in the description to the thing, as well as a link to her Indiegogo.
Yeah, so it's actually my name.
But you can say it out loud.
Wait, is it EYVA? Well, it's EYVA Comic, and then it's at Annas Eskander. So ANNASESKANDER. Sorry if my name it's actually Annas. So yeah.
Here, I'll grab it from my my thing here.
So all the radio, not radio, YouTube shows, since it shows my age. All the YouTube shows are like really late at night and I'm 5 hours ahead. And it was it catches up with you.
You think I'm bad. You think I'm bad. Rebel is 1 hour behind me, so if he says 10 o'clock at night, that's going to be an even hour later.
Yeah, you're on that Greenwich Mean Time.
Yes, I am.
No.
We're just summertime at the moment.
No, I'm wrong. He would be an hour closer to you, so I'm wrong.
Okay,
He'd be an
that's
hour
cool.
closer.
Oh, there's some grace there. Yeah. I've my windows, you can see my blinders up, so at some point you're going to see the sunrise.
Rebel is also Canadian as well. He's from the Canadian East Coast, so you know. Bullet says the book looks good. Another Canadian from the Canadian East Coast. We got all sorts of Canadians here. Part of the British Commonwealth.
Oh yes, yeah. You had Harry and Meghan for a few microseconds.
And then you have the one rebel representative here.
Yeah.
And the good old US of A.
Yeah.
So, thank you for sharing the Twitter account. Actually, the reason it was in my name, because originally I was interested in politics, and I was just trolling politicians until it got boring.
I think a lot of us were doing that.
There's some satisfaction of telling a politician he's just being an idiot. Yeah, so then I just thought, no, let's not be political. Let's just focus on the comic.
Yeah. Rebel says, yeah, man. Yeah, come on the show. It will be fantastic.
All right, he does Wednesday night. Let me see. Yeah, I think I'm free Wednesday. Yeah, I'm free Wednesday.
Yeah, I only troll one politician.
Yeah, and who's that?
It's Ted Cruz, who I actually really like, but he's my local representative, so I feel like I have the need to troll him.
Rebel, there should be a link in the number Warriors 2 if you want to come in. Cuss Comics Warriors 2.
So in the comic world, I mean, sort of, do you get a lot of girls, creating comics? I've come across a couple, so do you think that more? No.
I think there's a lot that read them, but I'm not sure whether and you have your writers and all that, but I'm not sure whether I could be wrong. I don't think there's a lot of independent female comic writers and all that stuff.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong.
I would say the proportion's probably about as the same as the readership.
Mm-hmm.
It's just mostly guys, and then you have this decent portion of women readers.
Mm-hmm. I think initially when I was, you have like the Instagram insights, and I didn't know whether it was because of sort of the range of friends I had at the time, but like the majority were female, and then I thought, sort of maybe there's something in this, but then later on it corrected itself. once I was getting sort of follows from the sort of comic book community. Yeah, there are cats.
Rebel's asking the what?
Oh, yeah, there are cats, Siege, Skinma, Girl Wonder, etc.
Yeah, get Rebel saying Cross Comics Warriors 2. I sent out the link about an hour and a half ago. You're in the group, so you should have got it. So on Twitter.
Oh yeah, Mandy Summers. There's another one.
Yeah.
Also, Girl Wonder. Is he talking about your Nerd Wonder? Or is there another person called Girl Wonder that I just am not aware of?
I think there's Girl Wonder as well as Nerd Wonder.
Okay. There's too many people to keep track of.
and some of them are YouTubers, and they do a little bit of creation, or they're artists and all that. But I wouldn't say all of them are creators.
Oh, and in terms of like Image Comics, or like the likes of Dark Horse, what's your take on them? I mean, what do you think of them?
Oh, Image, I'm all right with. Well, I'm all right with pretty much any comic company, as long as they're not telling you how to live.
As long as they're producing good content. I mean, all the companies have their bad stuff these days.
Yeah,
but as long as you can find something good, I'm good with them.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like Dark Horse historically, because they were one of the first people to start translating manga into English. So they had, before Viz even started doing that, they had like a bunch of old manga done in like issue format.
Yeah.
The only problem is they flipped everything so that you would read it the way you read a comic. So if somebody had something written on their shirt, it would be reversed.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, is that because in Japanese, the books are the opposite way?
Yeah, they read from right to left, not left to right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how cultures develop differently like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they also primarily write their text going top to bottom instead of across the page.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he'll be there.
for
Just give him
Rebel.
a few minutes.
A minute. Yeah.
So Rebel, what's Rebel Gaming's background?
He's a writer as well. He's not an artist, so he's the same as you. He's had to hire people to do the all the illustrations. He has a comic called Niobe.
All right.
Which
Well, I like the name.
Which is a very anime, I'd say, inspired.
All right. Yeah.
It's sort of a cross, I'd say, between anime and Western. I think the main character is Japanese or Asian.
Yeah.
And
she
has
look at
like
his avatar, clearly he's a rowdy rough boy.
He sounds like an interesting character. Do you know, it's nice when you meet some really interesting different characters, because it's because do you know, like when I do these shows, it's like, we talk about the comic and then we just end up horsing around, and the horsing around is pretty much the fun part.
Yeah. Well, it's learning to, it's getting to know other creators, so
Oh, absolutely.
So
and the trials and tribulations.
And it's another contact, or whatever. If people can get to know you on a personal level, they're more likely to invite you back and all that.
Yeah.
And it's easier to say, "Hey, we were on the show together," blah blah blah, and and it's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you. You said this or that or blah blah blah." Hey, you were good. You were great. It was great meeting you on that show or whatever.
Are you working on any projects at the moment?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh well, I finished a comic book a few months ago. There's Rebel. And as I was saying earlier, it's actually in demand. It's Canadian Shield.
His only project is getting.
I'm having trouble getting my money.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
All right, Rick,
but
I'm
after
here
that,
to help save the show, brother. I'm here to help to save the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I've watched you make this poor girl just like sit there in dead air, and I'm.
We were playing chicken. Oh,
okay, we can't hear you.
We've lost him.
We're not hearing anything you're saying. Larry.
All I'm hearing is Mike is making fart sounds.
Do you think it sounds like farts or hiccups or?
Well, from my end, it sounds like farts. It's going like a.
Yeah, kind of like machine gun farts.
Is this not working or what?
Oh, I heard
we're
you
hearing you now.
I'm on a phone on a shitty fucking hotel Wi-Fi connection because I'm actually at work. So it's going to jail, but kick me on and kick me off and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, we've been.
I have seen this project literally everywhere. You have been making the rounds, my dear. You know what I'm saying?
I hope that's in a good way.
You know, no, that is a good way. I mean, like I have first noticed you because of Rob Anderson. Right, Anderson. You know the indie comic.
Yes, Mr. Anderson. Every time I say it, I think of the Matrix.
Well, yeah. I think of that, or like the wrestler who used to come out and he'd be like Anderson. Yeah. And then of course I've seen you over on Indie Vault TV with Varian Grant and Randy Zimmerman, the Zim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. We have a good laugh.
Well, I'll tell you this: your project looks very, very awesome. And you know, someone had brought up a little earlier, "Ghost in the Shell," and it definitely has that sort of vibe. You know, I've seen you, like I said, in a few interviews. I've seen your trailer, which is top notch, by the way. Rick, I don't know if you played her trailer yet on your show.
Yeah,
but if you have, you definitely should.
I wanted to play it, but unfortunately, if I play it, the sound's not going to come through. So.
You got to learn how to use OBS, brother.
They do. I do find
OBS.
No, you got to learn how to use it, not just to use it. You got to learn it. You know,
it's like we're having a domestic here now. I tell you something. When it does get played through StreamYard, the sound is really slow. It doesn't do it justice. It cuts it. You know, it becomes intermittent. But yeah. Well, with the video, what happened? I filmed it back in last year in November. I think I got to a point where I was so fed up of procrastinating that I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get the video done, and at least that's something I ticked off my task list. And the guy who did it, Simon, and his colleague Paul. The way I met him was it was through my first job, really, and that's where I learned Adobe Illustrator. And we worked together, and now he's got a company where they do these videos. And so I went. He lives in Essex, which is sort of close to London. And on the day, I think we only booked the studio for half a day, and ideally it would have been better for the whole day, because it was just I'm telling you, it was my first time doing it, and I'm telling you, like, I absolutely hated the idea of doing it. But it was Timothy who said to me, listen, you need to be on the video. Don't just put the comic, put yourself on there and talk about it, because that, you know, it's so rare that you get female writers and creators sort of on these campaigns. So just make the most of it. So I went there for the afternoon, and then we must have worked from like 12 in the afternoon till about probably 7 in the evening, non-stop, without a break. Every segment that I wrote the script, and I had to memorize it, and so it was off by heart, and so I didn't have any auto cues, so that's why I sound a bit robotic, because I'm there like trying to remember my lines. And I must have repeated every line about 17 times, something like ridiculous. So there were really a lot of takes, and now I can't bear to watch the video just because I know every single word. Oh yeah. So
Bullet says the trailer was top tier.
Oh, thank you.
Telling somebody to take notes. So.
Do you know? It was just at the end of the day, I just thought I want to do the best I can to really sell it. I'm not always, you know, because like Timothy is by nature, he is one of the most humblest people I know, but he's he's so super talented, and yet, you know, he doesn't boast about, oh, I've done this or I've done that. I mean, you know, it was only just the other day that I came across, you know, I said to him, somebody mentioned that you worked on Guardians of the Galaxy before the film hit the screen. And he's like, yeah, I worked on Star-Lord, and you know, sort of, I even got like a mention on the credits at the end of the film. I was like, seriously? Like, you're only just telling me this now? Like, I've known you for like 5 years, and you never ever like mentioned that. It's like, yeah. So then I you know, sort of, I ended up having to troll. So I couldn't get a copy of Guardians of the Galaxies. I rented it on YouTube, and the thing which is really annoying is you can't do screenshots of YouTube. So I had to sit there in a darkened room with my mobile, taking a picture of my my MacBook screen. And then I posted it, and I said, look at my friend, how brilliant he is. And he just doesn't, you know, sort of like only just shared this with me. And it really gave me a sense of pride, you know, to think, wow, you know, like the guy who illustrated my book has done so much. And yet, you know, he's such a lovely, wonderful person. You know, he's not arrogant at all. So he does some, like, he's worked on kind of Japanese comics, because he does spend time out in Japan as well. So I guess, you know, sort of that character trait works really well there. And so what's Bullet? I meant people making their own trailers should take notes, to be clear. Actually, there is one video that I absolutely love, and Anthony Figueroa, I think it's called, is it in God's Hands? Just having a look now.
Let's see. So here, let me pull. I'll probably.
Oh yeah, God's Hands, a New Orleans supernatural thriller by Anthony Figueroa. If you want to sort of make a video and kind of make it really casual, you don't need to spend a lot of money. You know, just watch his video, because it's just, you sit there and you're happy to listen to him go on, because it's, you know, he really hits the key points, and it's a really nice casual chat. It's not a kind of car salesman pitch. And yeah, it's short. It's just the right length as well, and he's doing really well, actually. Just thinking, what has he got? Yeah, so he's on over £11,000, and he started in December.
Wow. Cool.
I had to remember you were talking about money there. I'm like, man, that's over £11,000. What?
Yes, sorry, British pounds, not you know, sort of, not somebody's
not
weight.
The imperial weight. You know.
Yeah, not the imperial weight. You know, I understand we've been through a lockdown and that we've all gained weight. I don't know. Have you guys had a lockdown? Have you guys had a lockdown?
Various varying capacities of it. Yeah.
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 Just, I think the lockdown really sort of got me going. I was like, you know what? I've got nothing else to do. I better like just launch the comic. And then I thought to myself, my timing is impeccable. People are losing their jobs, and here's me saying, come and support my comic. Rather than put food on your table. And then somebody I said, I feel awful, you know. And they're like, somebody said, listen, people are still buying booze, so there is some surplus money out there. And it's like cigarettes, alcohol, comics.
probably not here, says, who's your favorite Simpsons character?
Who's my favorite Simpsons
if you
character?
watch The Simpsons.
Oh yeah, Homer. I like his philosophy.
Well, also, Rick, don't give him the dignity. Evan asked that question.
Yeah. Hey, I'm asking. I got to make sure I ask the questions from the chat. Rebel said he, unfortunately, his phone didn't want to let him in here, stay in here. But he said he sent you a DM on Twitter so you can have a conversation on Wednesday and let him know what time works for you.
Oh yes, absolutely, yes. I will pencil.
Well, it says a lot of people talk in their trailers. I want them to talk about their book, the world it takes place in, and be passionate about it. Bullet says, not how long they wanted to make the book or what, or that they're making the book. Sell me on the vibe. And Rebel says, how much he weighs here.
Oh, you're going to compare weights now. Oh yeah, I think I indulged with too much wine over the lockdown. I think it was for medicinal reasons, I promise. when you have two kids that don't go to school and they're with you like 24/7, it's like at some point you need a glass of wine. The hands get a little shaky.
Yeah, I can see that driving you crazy.
Now,
I don't have kids, but I can see it driving you crazy.
Yeah, the good thing about Fortnite, it's a very good babysitter.
Well, and see, the other thing is, it's not just that they're not going to school; it's that you can't go anywhere out with them to do
absolutely.
anything.
Oh, I know, and on top of that, you have to homeschool them. And the second they see you coming, it's like they run away. The second you say the word homeschool, it's like, right, no, it's like sort of tears and tantrums. I like that. Men aren't men if they are under 200 pounds. Those are called boys. Or maybe malnutrition. We could go with that. Yeah. No, the lockdown has been pretty hard. I think it's initially people are like all for it, positive vibes, especially with the health workers as well. Now we've gotten to a point where we are just all so fed up and had enough, and the claws are out again. We're back to normality.
Yeah. People want their freedom again.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the other day I just thought, oh, let's go to the park. And it's one of those stately home parks. And normally you go whenever you want to. And I completely forgot you have to book in advance for your time slot. So that way they can maintain the number of people who go in. And I completely forgot. And there we are at the gate. And I'm on my phone trying to get a booking. And it's all sold out, and it's raining. I was like, it's like, who wants to be out in the park when it's raining? We had to turn back and just, go to the nearest town.
I mean, growing up, I went to the park while it was raining all the time. I would walk down the street.
Oh, I know.
That's just crazy. Booking an appointment to go to the park.
Well, yeah, no, this is one of these kind of, like Downton Abbey. And you've got these stately homes, so it's run by the National Trust, and they are basically restricting the cars and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to by park. You just mean like the
green
park where.
Yeah, grass.
Yeah.
But this one's special because it's kind of got a massive woodland area. You get a bit of deer and or peacocks or swans or geese, whatever, and and kind of you got a stately home and the stately gardens as well. So there's like three different areas, and it's because it can get heavily congested quite quickly. So they've introduced time slots to try and keep the entries down. And now they've basically introduced sort of wearing a face mask on Friday. Now, if you go into a shop or the supermarket, you have to be wearing a face mask. I think technically they should have done this a lot sooner, like when they took, sort of, because at the end of the day, we're seeing spikes, like we're seeing it going up again. People who are on holiday in Spain are not happy.
Yeah. Well, they just did that in my city. They just introduced it last Friday, and we are now in my city, Hamilton. We're a city of 500,000 plus people. There's 5 people infected.
Oh, really? That's pretty good. That's not bad. Yeah.
And now they want to introduce face mask.
So it's 500. How many? In Hamilton?
There's over 500. There's over 500,000 people that live here, but
500,000. Okay, only 5. Yeah, the thing is, it spreads quite quickly because those 5 can infect another.
Yeah, we've been on a downcline in it for like the past month.
Yeah, but that's good going because we're still.
Our city never hit. We've had like just under 900 people infected over the whole 4 months. Yeah. But we never hit more than 200 people infected at any given time.
Yeah.
So
it says Rick doesn't believe in the virus. Yeah. It's a conspiracy.
I'm in Texas. You don't want to know how many infected we got.
Oh, it's really bad. Sort of in the US. I've been watching it. It's like it's like the apocalypse.
Well, in Contagion, yes, but they're also overcounting it, and even most of the people that are have it are asymptomatic. They're counting every asymptomatic person too.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, we are like about sort of every day. There's around 700 new cases. The death rate is declining. I think they're getting a handle on how to treat it. So that's good news, and they are currently working on a vaccine. So yeah, I mean, do you know, with the comic that I worked on, it was just coincidental that I was looking into sort of bioweapons and biowarfare, and I guess the timing was pretty good, I suppose. Sort of. Like there is a reflection of reality, and this is just one potential extreme. Because I do, as a writer, I know sort of we went off tangent and we're talking about the virus and lockdowns and stuff. And a lot of people ask, where do you get your inspiration from writing? Well, look around you. What's going on in the world? What's happening in, sort of, like on the news. You can get such a wealth of ideas just following, the current affairs. And so, and also like, your past experiences growing up. I lived in Saudi when I was a teenager, so it was a pretty difficult time for me, and it was heavily restricted, and that kind of pretty much influenced me as a writer, in terms of writing dystopian worlds where, you've got an authoritarian sort of government that just places ridiculous restrictions on you. So, yeah.
They're making fun of Rick in the chat.
Are they? Yeah, Rick doesn't believe in Rick doesn't believe in vaccines.
I believe these things exist. I did. Do you know, I did have a conspiracy theory because before the whole virus thing,
there was issues in terms of, the elderly population was going to be a problem because there was not enough sort of younger generation to kind of paying taxes to maintain the social welfare system, sort of paying out their pensions. So I thought, you know what convenient way to get rid of the pensioners, introduce a virus that affects them mostly, and sort of, you end up with a clean slate. I know it's horrible to say, but if you look
it would track too, because the conspiracy of the globalists, they are all about population control.
Yeah, so this is basically like a conspiracy about population control, because it's really convenient that it doesn't affect children so much. I mean, okay, granted, if they've got underlying conditions, maybe the odd two that are healthy, but the majority, it's the nursing homes. It's absolute dire.
Yeah.
And
then you have wealthy people intentionally putting sick patients into nursing homes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, well, there was issues because the hospitals were sending elderly patients back to the nursing homes, and they were still contagious. And then that caused a spread of the virus throughout the whole nursing home. And now they're looking into it. I think they were pretty scared that they just weren't going to be able to handle the numbers. And but yeah, so
if you want to hear something even worse, up in New York State, the governor Andrew Cuomo ordered that young patients be kept in nursing homes just because they had the beds to take care of them. So he was actually intentionally, well, maybe not intentionally, but by proxy infecting elderly people just because they had beds in nursing homes.
Wow. I find it bizarre, the sort of having these people basically in positions of, making decisions that are really important, and they're just absolutely clueless.
Yeah, it's crazy for sure.
It says here, Rick doesn't believe in pensions. They're really going for you here.
Oh, well, I'm used to this. My cat teases me all the time.
Yeah, these are his regulars.
I find it amusing. The Canadian Illuminati. Actually, that reminds me of the Da Vinci Code. I really enjoyed the Da Vinci Code, actually, as the book. I really enjoyed, because I love sort of cryptic clues and sort of solving mystery, solving riddles and all that. But when I was reading the book, in my head, the way the main character was described, I had Harrison Ford in my head, because he's supposed to be rugged. Yeah, he's supposed to be rugged and sexy. And then all of a sudden I got Tom Hanks, and it's like, no. Listen, I want Harrison Ford, please. Although, yeah, Harrison Ford.
This one in the chat. Rick doesn't believe in chats.
Yeah, actually, from like a puzzle perspective, the Da Vinci Code and the series is actually very well crafted.
Yeah.
I think it's the movie, not just with the casting, did the books a lot of disservice, and also it tried to, the movie more so because the book was clearly trying to market itself as fiction, but it was trying to, like, the movies were marketing itself as if they were an authoritative like source for what is and isn't, like the theology and stuff. So a lot of people have really warped conceptions of like the source material that he was basing it off of.
Yeah.
Actually, the book was trying to do the theology too, based on the fact that it said everything in it's, I forget, I'm paraphrasing, everything in it's like true or whatever or something like that. It said like just before it started.
Well, no, actually, it said that when it started, after you've already entered the world of fiction, if you pay attention. That was part of the narration. It wasn't a front.
No, that was before the narration. There was a page that said it beforehand. Not it said the people were fake and all that, but the other religious stuff was true and all that. I forget it because I read the book myself.
I think I didn't. The book. I mean, I found the book. Of course, mostly when the book's always better, because sort of with film, you're telling an entire story within like 1 hour 45 minutes, whereas sort of when you're reading the book, it's like it's a longer process, and you really get into the characters, into the into the scenery, into the storyline. One thing I remember about the Da Vinci Code, I think it was the ending. I think we just burst into laughter. It was just so like, I think it was because they said something about being the last descendants of Christ or something like that. But the way it was said, we just started laughing. I don't know why. It just sounded so just like awkward, like ridiculous, And I don't remember laughing in the book. In the book, it felt like, it can be plausible, but in the way he said it was so serious, like, oh my God, like, so yeah, I think what was the other one? There was Digital Fortress, Angels and Demons. Yeah, I read them all. Well, not all of them, but yeah, most of them. Metal has never read a book in his life, and I can prove it. No, I'd like to see you. Probably not here. I'd like to see you prove it.
Oh, he can't prove anything.
He can't even prove that he's here. Oh, actually, technically, with the comment. Well, anyway. Look, you can see it's lights. Look, the sky.
Well, that's how I feel like every day, because I am a true night owl.
Yeah.
And it is usually about dawn by the time I go to sleep.
Do you know, I think creatives, the best time is, sort of around the 3 a.m. time,
Yeah, that's about when I hit my peak.
Yeah, because do you know what it is? It's like everyone's asleep. Everything
Nobody
is
bothers
calm. It's like, like Superman, he can hear all the noises in his head, and you have to kind of block it all out. Well, it's when everyone's asleep, there's no noise. There's, there's that kind of calmness, and you can just be creative. You're the only person in the world. Okay, not the only person.
But it feels like that at times.
One of the few creative elites that are actually bonkers enough to stay up this late.
Yeah, the first draft of my novel, I wrote it, and it was probably took me 18 hours to write it, but I wrote it over the course of like a couple weeks or so, all within the period of 2 to 4 o'clock.
Thank you. Actually, I might try that. Set my alarm clock on.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we're all gonna have to go. It's about to hit the 2 hour.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah. So, just before we go,
have you allowed this poor woman to go to bed yet? I'm so sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you, Rebel Gaming, but I will hopefully, sort of get a message from you if that's all right. You can. I'm on Facebook, on Instagram.
Okay, well, Rebel, you want to promote anything before we kick off?
No, I think you've done a wonderful job. So yeah.
He was asking me.
Oh, is it you? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I meant metal. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, just as always, you can go to xdynamuschaos.com and check out anything I'm working on in my little shared world, comics, prose, all kinds of stuff on there. And I also wanted to respond to Evan real quick, or probably not here. No, I've never met Superman, but I have met this guy named Clark Kent. Interesting fellow, but not quite the same.
Okay, so and Annas, you want to promote your comic one last
Oh, thank you very much. So yes, EYVA is on Indiegogo. It's a cyberpunk comic set in the 23rd century world of bioimplants and intrusive surveillance. It has hit its target goal, and there are some fantastic goodies out there, which which make me question my business skills. And so yes, if you want to take advantage of my generosity, please feel free to do so. You can also find me on Facebook as EYVA Comic and also Instagram as EYVA Comic. I'm also on Twitter. I'm still learning it. I'm not as good as Trump, but I will get there. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, no problem. And you are now at 199 backers. I'm not sure what you were exactly beforehand, but we know a couple people.
Oh no, I've gained a few while I've been on the show, which is brilliant. I'm really actually I've got 200
since the last time I reset because it was only 197 on my screen.
Yeah, no, I'm actually on 200 here. It's gone up to 200.
Okay. And then you are a little bit more than this, $6,332 US. So we were able to get you a little bit of money here. So
yeah,
I'm glad
you
for
so
that.
much. It was well worth staying up for,
So thanks everybody on the panel for coming on. Thanks everybody in the chat for coming by and making this a good night. We will catch you all later. Bye for now. God bless. Have a great and wonderful evening.